Oh God, I hope that bit's cut out. Right, now I need to cut that bit out, don't I? So welcome everyone. Welcome to the YouTube channel. We would usually do a live Q&A where I'm talking to myself. But today I wanted to bring this one to Zoom. Get mediums from all around the world, actually. There's loads and loads of them here with problems or questions that they want to ask. And I just wanted that interaction where there's another face on the monitor, and see where this live Q&A goes from. It's been done via my own Facebook page and Zoom group, so I know everyone in the room. I should know everyone in the room. So the questions should be decent, I suppose. So let's change the view and get our first question. So I need someone's hand to go up so I can go from there. There you go. So Michelle, you're first up. You're the first one I saw. So let's add a spotlight to you, Michelle. There you go. Good evening, Michelle.
Okay. Good evening, Charlie.
I might need to put subtitles on for you.
No, I'll be very good. Question for you, okay? The last year or two, I've been kind of getting the feeling to sit with red light cabinet, okay?
Okay.
Now, I've done a bit of research. And the
Okay.
question I want to ask you is, when you started out on your development, I know you would have kind of dissected an awful lot of stuff to do with mediumship and researched it and stuff because you're quite in depth with your studies and the teachings that you give us. So, the question I want to ask you is physical mediumship. What do you personally think about it? Like, I mean, when you look back, it only happened in a time many, many years ago. It hasn't happened in this time frame.
Yeah.
So is it real or is it, I don't want to say the word, but you know what I'm getting at, with
Is
the
it
whole,
fraudulent? Is it fraudulent?
yeah,
So we
yeah,
we we
yeah,
rock out with a live Q&A with controversy straight away. So well done, Michelle.
yeah,
Well done. So I think it's a very valid question about the fraudulence of physical mediumship, and unfortunately, we know people that have been caught playing with physical mediumship. So I think you first have to go back to a time when physical mediumship was um, like late 1800s. And it
mm,
had gone into the early 1900s, and I think that's simply because of a period of time where seeing is believing.
yeah,
So I think the spirit world would have like really been working hard with the mediums that were sitting at that time. Fast forward to 2025, and people are struggling to meditate. People are struggling just to be still, aren't they? Everything's so fast, and like media content is just like your TikToks and your YouTube shorts. It's just doom scrolling away, isn't it? It's just trying to hold attention. So I think we're at a different space, a different time period altogether, when people did used to sit religiously. One night of the week, it would be four, five, six people with this collective idea of, is there something more? And the development was then kind of sit in these darkened rooms, simply because it was illegal. And
wow.
and the
Mhm.
reason for the red light is because it would have been open fires in the UK. And you have an instrument that's called a dampener. And to put the flames out of the open fire, they would put a dampener on there, which gave like a very soft red glow, and that's where the red light comes from. Now people, obviously we've got plug sockets on the wall now, and we can just plug a red light in now, but that's actually where that originates. I'm not so sure about the cabinet. I'm not so sure that whether a cabinet is required or needed. Um, to 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 have a discussion, an intelligent discussion about a spirit world using a wooden framed or a plastic, canvas um, cabinet, when realistically you're sitting in a room that can be used as a cabinet. I don't really
Okay.
understand. I don't really understand the purpose of that. Now that obviously leans to the um to the skeptical side of the fraudulence
Yeah.
can take place at that point. The darkness of a room can lean to that of of fraudulence. But I think it's there. I think physical phenomena is very much available with the dedication that is required via the medium to develop that. I've had my own phenomena. I've seen my own phenomena, you know. So I think the question you're asking me is it worth pursuing
Mm.
today? I think for the benefit of the time with the team, it's definitely beneficial for any developing medium. Developing it for a long period of time
Mm.
would be down to the uniqueness of the individual, whether they want to kind of invest that much time and effort into learning surrender for the possibility of phenomena. I
Mm.
think it'll always lean on intelligence for me. Is there intelligence in the room in the phenomena? And then also you've got the demand of if you're thinking or debating the idea of going public, and you
Mm.
kind of demand in the spirit world to do that on that day for 30, 40, 50 people. And again, that's where the idea may creep in about the fraudulence because the
Mm.
the consistency of the room has been disturbed. So it's
Yeah.
I understand both sides of the fence with it. But I think if you're gonna put that level of investment into a development, I would certainly do it where you are cancelling as much as you can where fraudulence can be claimed. So
Yeah.
introduce a red light for the duration of the sit. So no one's sneaking in and out of a controlled room as such. So um, do I think it's got a place in 2025? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
No.
I
Mm.
think we're a little bit beyond seeing is believing now. Uh,
Mm.
I think we're beyond that time frame. So and I think better work needs to be done in the mental mediumship area and the trance mediumship area, all of which are all before the physical mediumship area. So I think you'll fall in love with an area, um,
Yeah.
and then from there I would dedicate the bulk of my available time into that development. So I would
Yeah.
I would play, explore, and then go from there.
So no sheets then for
I
electrocast.
wouldn't. I wouldn't. I just think it just opens the doorway for the skeptic, doesn't it? To say, well, what's
Yeah, yeah,
happening there?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. True. Thanks, Charlie.
Well, thanks
Thank
for
you.
your question. So let me get you off my screen. There you go. Cool. So next one I see is Christine. I hope this has done it in order. So, ba Christine.
Hello, Charlie.
Oh,
So I kind of have a twofold question in regards to your early development because you just mentioned about trance. And in my last class with you, I was asking, and I just figured out that at some point you are responsible for your own development.
yeah.
So you have this like ridiculous ability for detail,
Okay.
which is, I mean, it may be unique to you and not me. So, what did you have to deploy when you realized, okay, I want to get that? You specifically told that story about going and get that guy's home address, the city that he lived in, the
Yeah.
house number, and she just needed to hear the red box.
Yeah.
So, to get that address, you decided, I want to get those minute details. What
Yeah.
was your process of going there? And like that was that before trance or after trance? Like,
It would have definitely been after trance, definitely 100%. But I think I think when we're working with mediumship, or we certainly early stages of mediumship or the development of, you kind of fall into the traps of the wrong areas, don't you? So like you're mesmerized by the TV, or you're mesmerized by a theater medium, and so on and so forth. So I think your idea is a little bit diluted very early on. And I remember, I just remember being very mindful of the information that I could potentially receive, and I'm not receiving it, you know, and my clients may feel like that, and I don't want them feeling like that. So it was more of a thought process that I was having of, I want to be able to, I want to be able to get, I want to be able to, and for example, if it was like a mum that had lost a son in a road traffic accident, that road traffic accident, the time of year, the junction of what road it was on would be etched in the mind of the parent, wouldn't it? It would be traumatic. But equally, I think it would be extremely healing if I was able to give that to the mum that's there for her reading with her son, as one example, you know. So it was more the idea of the levels of detail, and also the idea of like being put in the crazy basket, you know, like you see some idiots, don't you? You really do. And you see like some silly TikToks, or you see some silly live demonstrations, and the vast majority of it is psychic ability, not mediumistic ability. And so when that kind of in my own development, I was really determined not to have that element where people could say, yeah, but that's all psychic. You know, is my mum really in the room, kind of thing. So I think the element of detail in the way I wanted to receive a reading early development would have played a vital role in certain aspects. So I just started training myself to notice the smallest of detail in everyday aspects. So absolutely everything. So like just be very present in the moment, and recognize everything that's within the room, because you just forget, don't you? Like I've got shelf upon shelf in this room, and it's all spiritual memorabilia here. It's gaming and technology and cameras over there, and now I walk into this room and I don't really see it. I don't really see it. It's just part of the fabric. It's not until I'm looking for something I'm like, oh my God, look, I found that. I forgot I had that. And I'm aware that I can do that. I'm aware that I can maybe be doing that while I'm doing a link. And so it was just to be present in the moment, but also be present in the link. And then be like, that is screaming at me, that object, that thing, that. So now you'll do a dem, you know, you in particular are doing dems, but you'll always have that one heckler that shouts out like, maybe get a name or something, you know, and that's just the nature of platform demonstrating. You know, you invite an idiot into the room that don't really understand what takes place. And my argument with that is, I went and did it. I went and got names of communicators, addresses of communicators. And that one particular story, I think she hit the nail right on the head. She said, "That's not my dad, Charlie. That's just information," and she's right. So I think there are certain times when I need that level of detail for the environment or the names and addresses, and other times I need memories or triggers, or what I've learned over the years now is that I can't be deciding in which link to be doing that. It needs to be natural in the unfoldment of while doing the link. Let the energy speak to me in, this is going to be more memories. This is going to be more facts and figures. This is going to be, but acquire the skill set to do all of the jobs, not just be really good at remote view, not be really good at names, not be really good at just one thing, but kind of try and get to a level of mastery in all the areas. So when that moment of surrender is handed over, right, I'm here, what do you want me to do? I can follow the lead of what the communicator wants me to be doing now, in the best way that I can. But for like shortcut number one is start being aware of all the finer detail in your everyday surroundings. And that will just train the subconscious to be like, where's the detail? Where's the detail? Where's the detail? And that'll encourage that. And it'll be weeks, which isn't long, but within weeks, a new habit will be created, and you'll start seeing that in the mediumship creep in this level of detail that you're doing now. So
Do
yeah.
you find that trance helps with that?
I
Or
think Gordon
I've done
Higginson
trance.
said that best. I think he's the originator of it. I don't, I don't mind being corrected on that, but they always said that entrancement is an enhancement to mediumistic abilities. And I kind of agree with him on that. For one reason is like trances are created at the 7 hertz mark in the human mind. And if I'm learning to go to 7 and hold and hold and hold and hold and hold and hold and hold, then I've learned how to get to the communicator and hold, but at a much easier place than what trance is held at. So it's 7 and under for trance, 7 to
Yeah.
13 for mediumship. So if I learn to hold at a more difficult place, it's actually really easy when I just go and get the man. And now I've just got to, saturate my attention with the man, and now the link just seems a little bit easier. So it definitely, I think it's a definite beneficial to mental mediumship. I think it is. I think the mistake that I see is that, let's say you've got 10 hours a week that you can invest into mediumistic development. What people are doing is that they're having this idea of trance, and they're using up the 10 hours that they were having, and they're offering 4 of it to trance, but you're losing 4 in your mental mediumship. So what I did was I created the 4 hours extra that I wanted to put into my trance, every week. And so it's now 14 hours every week that I'm investing into a development. So, and I get it, we're busy, and families and partners, but it was sacrifices that I made in my own story. Yes, I was tired. Yeah, yes, it was a bit of an annoyance, but I also had the flip side of that, of it is a passion. I plan to do this forever now. So it was an investment worth making for me. Anyway,
Okay.
cool.
That makes sense. That puts some dots closer together.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Did we answer both? Did we answer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you did.
cool.
Yeah,
Cool. Thanks
that
for your
makes
question.
sense.
Q.
Thank you.
No worries. I need to unspotlight you, and there you go. And spotlight Jennifer. So why is it now press the wrong button? So add a spotlight. There you go. Jennifer, you're up.
Yep.
Yo.
Thanks. Okay, I also have kind of 2 questions, if that's okay.
Far away.
So on platform, I know you've talked about having a method, and in my mind and in my notes, I've written different things that I should be doing to or want to do before I start a reading. And yet, for the most part, I really just end up doing it. So the first part is, do you think that I should have like a method that I follow every time? I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first part.
Yeah. So I kind of I always draw it like that. You must have a million drawings like that in your little book of notes, your mixing bowl. And what I mean by that is that, am I going to be good today? Will they turn up? I'm shit, and you know, all that kind of stuff. And that kind of gets ironed out over many months or years of development. And we're kind of like, oh, do you know what? I'm starting to get this, and I'm starting to get good, and I'm starting to get more accurate, and the results reflect that in the simplistic of ways. And so that's what we're doing there, is where with the method that you're talking about, like creating a method, we've kind of got to reverse engineer the method. So what is it that I want to achieve at the end? And that is a very high quality reading that's accepted. How do I achieve that? And then I reverse engineer everything, and that would be the method that you're talking about. Now, some people, maybe even in this room, some people need 20 minutes before they need, before they do a reading or a dem. You know, the earbuds go in and then meditate into Hare Krishna or whatever it is that you guys listen to, and you know, you're still in your mind off and you're getting it all ready, and then the 20 minutes are up and you feel convinced that you're in that space, and away you go. I didn't want a method that was going to be ritual based. I wanted a method that was going to produce the results every single time that I worked. So that is, and the easiest way I can say that is discipline. So I needed these particular disciplines, you know. So I must do this, I must do that. Now, for me, this is a much better live Q&A because I get to look at Jennifer while I'm answering Jennifer's question. And that's exactly what I'm doing with the communicator. So I'm not being distracted anywhere else in the room. I'm looking at Jennifer's eyes. I know it don't look like that. I'd have to look like that. Then I'm not looking at you at that point. I'm looking at you as I'm speaking to you. That's how I want the conversation to be. It's a much better conversation when I do that. That's what I need here. So on every time I'm offering a statement, so you would understand, you would accept. They are showing me, and then I get my validation after every bit. But every step of the way, where is Jennifer in this example? I'm looking at Jennifer. There you are, there you are, there you are. I do that here. So then I offer my statement, and then where's the man? There he is. And then I get my next bit, and then I offer it to you. And now that initially feels extremely clunky because you've got like today's cars, haven't you? It's like stop start technology. It's like efficiency or trying to, but it's so I have to check here and I double check, and then I need to go back to the man. I've got the man, and I've got to recap and get him back, and now I can receive the information, and then I've got to stop and then move back to you and then offer it out, and it's this kind of stop start clunky bumpy ride along the way, but for a very short period of time, because I get this rhythm, I get this ebb and this flow that goes with it. And yeah, it's annoying for 4, 5, 6 weeks maybe. But then it's like this wonderful rhythm that I get up and running, and it, arrogantly maybe I expect yes. So that my attention has been captured by that of the man that wants to have a chat with you. And he's making me aware of whatever that awareness is, and then I offer it to you. I'm fully expecting you to understand what that is fully. Because my mind says, why would he be telling me stuff that's wrong or coming up? And most of the time it's yes, yes, yes. And so the mechanic that I need all of the time is that discipline of that end result. I want it to go well, and this is what I must do along the way, is validate and always checking in with my communicator, which will stop any kind of attention grabbing moment that can captivate me or capture me in any way, shape, or form, for me to lose connection or be clouded in what it is that I want, because it's always with the communicator. So yeah, it's unfortunately the answer is probably the answer that no one wants, and it's discipline, and you know what you have to do and then go do it. What we find that we also love doing as human beings is pass the buck. So if there's a point of blame, it's not me. It's not me. It's not my fault. It's not my fault there was a bang outside. And I just find that we are easily distracted in that sense. So I need um ways that I can get immediately back, even though I've been captured, get immediately back, and there are no excuses. So it's something that I'm forever telling myself, it's your fault, fix it. So then I go on to fix it. So yeah, so the simple answer there is discipline.
Okay, great. Thanks. That's a good answer.
Second,
The second part is maybe faster. Uh, what's a good statement to end a reading in a dem?
in a dem,
Yeah.
well, I think that it depends the style of medium that you are. So there's going to be loads of mediums in the room, and they'll say things like, "And I'll leave their love with you," or "I'll leave their personality with you." I think you've got to find what you're most comfortable saying, because you're going to hear it a lot, especially if you're going to go on to do like lots and lots of public demonstrations. Thanks for working with me. It could be thanks for letting me work with mum. Thanks for. So you've got to find something that you're comfortable with that's going to be heard a million times in the sign off. As a side note, I would always be mindful towards the end, because I wouldn't recommend being mindful during the read. But towards the end, as we're getting near that moment of I'm about to go get another communicator, you have to very quickly establish the kind of link that we've just had. So if we've had one that's a little bit abrupt, leaving someone's love seems to contradict the evidence that's just come out. It's not really going to fit there. If we've got stories that are kind of controversial or a little bit close to the mark, maybe levels of abuse or something like that, I wouldn't say, "And I'll leave him with you." I wouldn't do things like that, because we don't know what's going on in the client's mind. So, but yeah, like I wouldn't leave love if the evidence doesn't show love. I wouldn't, so in those ones, I'd be like, "Thanks for letting me work with your person," whatever that is. So, but get used to it. So it's as annoying as getting the validation. It's so annoying, like over and over again. You'd accept that, you'd understand. Now he's making me aware of, and I'm waiting for I've gestured, you need to answer me. And so you're getting them to check in, validate all of the time. It understandably can get annoying, but there's not one person in that room that could say that the statement was incorrect. It was validated all the way through, evidentially, and you look great for it. So yeah,
Okay, great.
find something that suits you better. So, and don't just cut, because it'll feel very abrupt to the client. Like, oh, she's moving on. That would be a little bit abrupt. So it's a nice, tidy finish on whatever you're going to be comfortable with there. "Thanks for letting me work with your person. As I move my mind to my next communicator, and everyone knows, here's a nice, smooth transition, and we're up and running." So yeah,
Okay, good.
cool.
That's okay.
Thanks for the question. Let me take your spotlight off. There you go, and add a spotlight. Yeah, Wanda.
Hello, Charlie.
Yo,
So I'm hoping to ask a question that may be a newer
a newer
medium,
person, a
someone
newer
interested
medium.
in. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Are there one or two spirit guides that are assigned, or not assigned, but chosen for us from birth until the end of our life?
Okay,
And
it's a good
are
question.
spirit guides ancestors, ascended masters, or the angels, or someone that never had a physical body?
Well, okay, it's actually a very good question, because it will myth bust a lot of it, won't it? Now, the reality is I can't tell you. I don't have your answer. So what I can do is I can release a book with a load of bullshit in it, and you can just go and believe it because I wrote about it. We can do that. But the reality is I can't give a validating point on what that is. So guides, I think, is a universal um, title for them. And then it's kind of just like upgraded dependent on your line of work. So what was it? Ancestry, um,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, or
master,
ascended masters,
ascended master,
angels.
angels. Yeah, and that ascended masters will have a philosophy that goes with the philosophy or the way that the individual is working, and very much like that of the angels, tends to go through the healers of the groups, and then they're working with the angels and so on and so forth. I don't think that's any different to me working with my team, my guides.
Mhm.
So I think if we just declutter the language that's being used to make it sound special, it's just my guides, plural. Um, and then a conversation between me and you is like my team, because I know there's a number of them, so on and so forth. Now, in my understanding of a spirit world, in the way that it's kind of from day one to the last day,
Mhm.
um, I I lean very much to the idea of by design. So I've created the life that I'm about to embark on. Um, and it's quite hard to hear that sometimes when life's been a bit shit.
Mhm.
It's been a bit rocky, it's a bit up and down and so on and so forth. And you'll be like, why didn't I write in my story to have a bank account full of money? Or do you know what I mean? And I think we're just looking at that human like. The lessons I have personally learned in my own story, and you and your own story, I think are priceless. Some of them have been wonderful experiences. Some of them have been heartbreaking, whatever that is. But nevertheless, take the human emotion away from it. They are very varied lessons that you've got. So I don't think there's someone over there with a clipboard
Mhm.
and it's like, right, sorry, buddy, you got Wanda this time round. I don't think it's like that. I think it's more of a coming together. I lean more to the philosophy of silver birch, I suppose, where there's like a more of a grouping. So a group of us are deciding what's going to happen now. So pre-done. And then, right, it's my turn. You said you'd help me with this. You said you'd help me with that. Right, let's go. And then away I go. Kind of fits my kind of philosophy and my way, my style. And the
So
more
different things in your life uh, could call in different spirit guides
I
to
just I
help
just think
guide through there.
evolving as well, like I'm not the greatest fan of people. It's like and I find myself being a platform demonstrator, which is like why would I do that? Like what idiot? What an idiot. You got to go into that group of people, the ones that are backbitey or really nice or and everything in between. So yeah, so I think in that moment, at first when I first started was a little bit weird, stand up in front of a 10 people, and you do it, don't you? I've got a man that wants to join me. And you're not great at it, but you get through it, don't you? And someone's like, I know the man. And over time, I've just got better, let's say better at speaking. And I just feel there's an influence there that is helping me speak.
Mhm.
And so it makes really, really good sense to me that the lady that I work with has got a buddy in the spirit world that's like, I can help him do that.
Mhm.
And I just break it down with like, if I get a flat tire, I call the mechanic. If I get, my wall falls down, I get the bricklayer. If my electrics blow, I get the electrician in. If my water goes, I get a plumber in. Do you know what I mean? And it could be 10 years down the line, couldn't it? And my water goes again. And I'm like, right, where's the plumber's number? And hiya, mate, can you come round? I've had a problem. And he turns up and he does it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think we've got that kind of, in a real simple way of describing it, we've got that kind of relationship where the lady that I work with mentally in my mediumship, she's got friends in different places that can maybe offer a moment, you know. So, you know, if I've got to do a talk, then I can feel that it's not so much the lady now, but the gentleman that wants to join me. And then, you know, his influence will then start to come out in an address or an inspirational talk. Then back to the lady for the demonstrating. And so I think the team has the potential to grow, providing the medium is comfortable with the growth of that. A lot of people enter mediumship fear-based. They're scared of a spirit world. And so they finally buckle and they give in to the man or the woman or the angel or whatever. But they won't work with anyone else. I only trust this person because for the last 20 years they give me this calling card, and so I know it's them and I'm not in danger, and whereas I'm not going to be hurt. They're not going to let me be hurt for one. So things like that, I just leave behind the scenes. If it grows, it grows. I've just got to, I'll turn up, I'll do what I need to do. Just make sure you do what you need to do, and it works out all right. So
And do you think that there are spirit guides with children, little children, babies and children?
yeah, from the moment, yeah, from day one, yeah. Yeah, I tend to call it like a support network,
Mhm. That's a good
across
way to put it. Yeah.
yeah, across the board. So from day one. I think it's an exciting time, isn't it, when a baby comes to the world? But I think we're like the energy of it is kind of like, oh, this is amazing. This little creature's entered our reality now. And I think a lot of that is because of the energy that comes with the child. They're recent from the spirit world.
Mhm.
And we're very, very aware, aren't we? So
Yep. Yep. Yep.
so yeah, I think it's no different to being in the company of a 6-week-old baby, and also being in the company of someone that's holding a lecture that has just dedicated a lifetime of experience to a subject, and you hear them talk, and it could be about in trains if need be.
Mhm.
They will captivate you,
Mhm.
and you're just like, geez, you know a lot about that, or and it kind of gives you an idea, or like to look into it, or whatever that is, whatever that subject is. That energy's still present 50, 60 years down the line because of a passion that they've developed there. So I'm certain, I'm fairly certain. I just can't show you it, but I'm so certain that the team that I refer to is constantly evolving and growing, simply because of the information that I retain.
Mhm.
And I don't know where that is, where it's come from, why I remember that particular day or that page from that, but I don't know why I've retained it. I've retained it. Um, but I think I'm taking a bit too much credit there for it. It's like it's these are here,
Mhm.
and maybe they wrote books, and that's why it's so readily available. So yeah, it's from day one to the last day for me. There is this support network that moves through the fabric, um, by
Yep.
design. By
Yep.
design, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
No worries. Um, there you go, and let's spotlight you there. Ta-da! On a boat. We've got Susan on her boat.
Yeah. Hi, Charlie.
Yo,
Are you all right?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to ask you why you laugh every time you see me, but I decided that probably wasn't an appropriate and sensible question. So I've decided to ask you instead about philosophy, and I know that you've mentioned it a few times while you've been speaking, and you'll know that I've really enjoyed the philosophy classes that you hold
Mm.
and would absolutely recommend it to anybody. But just very generally, and this is just my view, I think there is a definite lack of interest across the board
What?
in
Well,
spiritualist philosophy.
let's break your question down. Firstly, I laugh because you're like a little pocket rocket. So on the screen you look about 5'10", but in reality you're no bigger than my mug. And I feel like I can walk you around like a Polly Pocket, you know. So
Yeah.
that's why I laugh, because I remember me needing to shut the class up and you screaming, "Shut up!" And it was, and everyone shut up, didn't they? So, and every time I see you, it reminds me of that. So there's that one.
Oh, okay. Right. Thank you. I get it.
The interest in philosophy, um, let's break that down. Is there's no ego-driven basis to it. There's no stage to stand on. There's no there's no like you're not being admired, or it's not shining
Yeah.
spotlights on you like a platform medium gets a spotlight shone on them. So and you see like the drive and the passion of a new medium, and it's like, I just want the stage, I just want the stage, I just want the stage. And it's just
Yeah.
letting go of the development because they've got to the stage that it's like little inconsistencies, or you're not doing that right. And but they never stuck around in development to sort of really iron things like that out. So that's why the interest isn't there. It's because it's like um it would appear boring to the people that just want to get on the radio, that want to do a talk show, that want to do it's just boring. But the reality is like it's probably the most interesting part of mediumship, because it's a foundation that
Yeah.
you're going to build on is from your philosophy. So yeah.
Do you think it changes it when there isn't that kind of backbone of
But I think,
particularly the
yeah, I think a weakened
spiritualist
philosophy
philosophy?
is a weakened medium. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
no, it's more of a hearsay, you know, so they've read it or they were told by their teacher, that it's this, that's it, it's this.
Yeah.
And there's no going away to find out for themselves. There's no,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, so, w let's take a real generic one where it's like, right, okay, so we're going to sit and we're going to protect ourselves for this evening's work.
Yeah.
That no one run the risk of not protecting themselves just to see if anyone got hurt, which I did. It was like, why do they do that? Why is everyone protecting themselves
But that
against?
still happens.
I know it does, but
That
that's
goes on
because
all the
no one's
time.
challenging philosophy though. Whereas
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
whereas I challenge it, it's like, then hurt me. Let's do it. Do your
Yeah.
worst. Let's have a look at that. And it's a crazy idea, really. Like I've got your mum, your dad, your you know, whoever. They want to have a chat with you, but I'm protecting myself against that because your mum, your dad, your whoever is going to hurt me. Just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. No, it doesn't to me.
Equally, I'm not going to be hurt in any way. I've got 10 people in the room. So I've got all the people that you know in the spirit world for you. Got all the people that Jennifer knows in the spirit world for Jennifer. We've got all the people for Christine. And some passerby is gonna just railroad it and just wreck the evening for everyone. Your people, Jennifer's people, Christine's people are not going to let that happen, are they? So I
Yeah.
think people are just giving that so much thought through fear rather than the wonder that is the love that wants to be shared between you and your people, the people for Christine, the people for Jennifer, and we're just so bogged down in the fear of rather than the embracing of the love that wants to be shared. So I think there's a definite weakness in that area of philosophy, definite.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
I
Charlie.
don't
Yeah.
think it moves with the time either. I think someone's
No.
read a book from 1970, and that book in 1970 in the UK, for example, was very, very heavily tainted by a Christian faith. And,
Yeah.
and so you've got like part Christian, part spiritualist, and it's all wrapped up into something that suits the individual. Working for a spirit world is not about being a Christian or a Muslim or
No, no.
it's about life. And so
Yeah.
while they keep these restrictive areas of whatever faith they're leaning with, plus that of spiritualism, I think just holds the mind back. So
Yeah, it sort of ties you to one view, really, doesn't it? I suppose.
absolutely. Whereas I think we're at a stage now where we can really question certain aspects through the philosophy, and then through the intelligence of communication with a spirit world, you would definitely find that what people talk about is really not happening. And the evidence of that would be presented through the intelligent communication.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay. Thank
cool.
you. And I would, yeah, to anybody who's listening, if when you put your philosophy classes up, I would really, really recommend it because
Cool.
it's I think it's opened a lot of people's eyes. Plus, the fact it's good fun. You know, it's a good fun class, and it can be a bit scary. Um, but
I think
it's just so
classes
worth
like that
doing.
are just more of an introduction of, if you want the stage, then you need to learn to talk about it. You need to learn to talk like you're on a stage, don't you? And I think philosophy gives you a foundation that no matter how scared you are, your research, your education, your myth busting in your own philosophy will give you a firm ground to stand on. Even though I'm terrified, but I can
Yeah,
still talk about it, even though I'm terrified, which is what you really need to be doing if you want to be standing on a stage. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, cool. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
No
you,
worries.
Charlie. Yeah,
No worries.
cheerio.
There you go. Uh, we got
Charlie,
you.
appreciate you. I must say, I agree that the philosophy class is amazing. I just wanted to add that. So my question is, and I think this will help beginning mediums too, but it's something that you struggle with, I think, no matter where you are in your development, is in regards to the relationship of the communicator. So I do go in without a checklist.
Okay.
And I kind of live by the 5 minute rule personally, where if I don't get the relationship, which I'm not even looking for after 5 minutes, if I suddenly do feel like I get it, I don't want to say it because I can blow the whole read. Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
getting all yeses and suddenly saying, "This is your grandpa." No, it's not.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so I've had some reads recently, like 30-minute one-to-one reads, and I'm getting all yeses and they know who their person is, but I'm not getting the relationship. So I
yeah.
just won't go there. But I'm feeling a little less anchored because of it. I just kind of wanted your thoughts on that. Do you, because I've been told by other teachers, oh, you got all the yeses, but you should be getting the relationship to really help ground the sitter as well. So it does kind of bother me. Um,
I think
what are your
teachers
thoughts on
that are
that?
teaching that though is they're not bringing into the dynamic the communication triangle. So for the purpose of the video, I know you know what it is, but yeah, the spirit world, the medium, and the client. If the client knows who that is, then we don't need to be saying it. So we're not trying to ground the client. Teachers that are teaching you should know the relationship are self-fulfilling. They are getting the relationship because they want to know who they're talking to, which makes them feel more grounded. Because if a medium's working for me and they're bringing through the young lady, and in my head their evidence is pinpoint accurate for my sister, I'm not sitting there thinking I need to be grounded. You need to go and get me the relationship. That's not how I feel when I'm the client. So teachers that are instructing that will always have this self-fulfilling aspect of um, stuff that they want answered within their connection, which at no point does the client give a shit about the medium needing criteria ticked off of a list that they're paying for. So yeah, I disagree with that. So if what I've found in my own mediumship is that if it's there in the opening three, four statements, then I know the client needed that statement. That's why it's front loaded.
Okay.
If I'm not bringing it up or talking about it, it's because everything that I've already done in those opening 3, 4, 5 minutes, the client is 100% certain of who that individual is.
Okay. That makes sense because you kind of answered my next question on that. I was always curious, why wouldn't Spirit tell you that within the first 5 minutes? But I've always considered it, well, it's not that important to the sitter. They know that this is dad, for example. They
Yeah,
already know it. Let's talk about something else. There's so much more to talk about. That's why I'm here.
exactly, and we've got such a small window as well, haven't we? What you'll find is that you'll have this this way, this connection method. So a clairvoyant will look to an area. I'm going to demonstrate it as here. They'll look to an area for the man to join me. And then from that, there will be this very consistent, not list, but there'll be this very consistent percentage of regular statements that are gone from that point. And at that point, you know, the medium has just got comfortable coming here. Now, it's not necessarily how did you die, what age are you, relation, but in effect, you're just swapping out the question with another question, and now we've got a new format as such that we're working with. Freedom and surrender in mediumship could be I see the man, I'm aware of a man, but can also be I know I need to talk about this song, and the man then comes in off the back of that. It's so varied in any way, shape, or form in the senses that I've got in use, and then the mind power that goes into that. So a clairvoyant will typically say, I never hear the spirit world. So they are never open to a sound ever. The door is firmly closed because they constantly teaching themselves, I never hear the spirit world. So their startup, their connection in getting their communicator will very quickly become this very consistent, one-dimensional kind of way of working, which loads of people are going to disagree with me on that. But just write it down. And I could come and watch 3, 4, 5 links and then go, look, shared pattern, shared pattern, shared pattern, shared pattern. And I'm always trying to mix that up. Just be aware to absolutely anything. But I do know that it's usually within 3. So I've got Dad that wants to join me. Then I know that that's all they needed to hear. That's the where up.
It usually pops up right away. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
One last question then. I appreciate that too, Charlie. Thank you.
Nice.
What do you think needs to be addressed in mediumship today in 2025, while still keeping its integrity? Because there seems to be so much change, and especially with social media, there seems to be so much noise and things are changing so quick. I'm just
There is a
want your
lot
take
of
on it.
noise, isn't there? I mean, like if you've got anything, what's been like a freak product lately? Um,
Channeling,
who?
a
Channeling,
lot of
yeah,
channeling
yeah, but
on
I
lives.
mean in like the material world, what's like the thing that you just see all over your media? I can't think of one thing right now,
Chat
but
GPT.
yeah, so you get like, but like every video now is AI, isn't it? Every video, and like you're looking for the banner. Is this made with AI? Because something feels off, something's not right, and it's just every other video. If not, it's like every fourth video is actually a real video, and the 3 before it are AI. We've got this saturation of nonsense right now. Saturation of nonsense. Now just swap AI and put it in the mediumship world and 90, I reckon more than 90% of people that are standing on a stage are playing medium and using psychic awareness as the spirit world are telling me. So I think you need very high end, very disciplined chairing people that will stop it, shut it down. That's not what you're doing is not right. That's what needs to happen. 100% won't happen, but it needs to happen. And when and if that does happen, the chairs actually start doing the chair's job. No one will work at a church or a centre. They will hire their own venue and they will do it themselves anyway. So I think what absolutely needs addressing, and no matter who you are or how famous you are or whatever, so because the comments will go mad on this one, is that in a 30-minute link, that relationship that you're having with that communicator, there should be a minimum of like 24 minutes of evidence about who that person is, that person can validate. Yes, you are right. That is my dad. Yes, 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 yes. Not dad wants to talk about you spilling a drink earlier. because you're playing that. So there is a 24-minute window there that the spirit world need to be proving that dad has joined the medium through evidence of dad, not through evidence of what this person's been up to the last couple of weeks. That's not mediumship. You'll probably find that that's all psychic work. Now, in a demonstration style, you've got a 7 to 10 minute window that you should be working with, and 90 seconds short of whatever it is that you're doing, the 7 or the 10, 90 seconds short is that window of opportunity for them to say what they want to say to their person. They want to say this in that night. Other than that, the 5 minutes 30 and up should be evidence of the man that is joining me. Evidence of that man, not around the man, offset from the man or around this person. It's, I've got 7 minutes to prove who you are. What do we say about you? And until people realize that is mediumship, then you are always going to have this kind of psychic / medium where it's going to be like 80-20 split respectively. And therefore it falls into the moment of kind of entertainment, but very, very demanding for a very me kind of energy. So yeah, I know that's my dad, but what does he want to say about my new boyfriend? Yeah, I know that's my dad, but when am I moving? When are we going to have a baby? Yeah, I know that's my dad, but talk about me. It is not, that's not what mediumship's about. That's not what we're, the spirit world are not there to take your hand and go, look, avoid that, Christian. Fucking hell, you nearly ended up really upset there. Let's go this way. They're not there to sort of like direct you like a spiritual sat nav through the path of least resistance in life. Mediumship is to prove that there is life after life, which means I need evidence about this man that wants to join me. And you are going to validate for the time duration, whether it be the 5 minutes 30 on stage or whether it be 24 minutes in a one-to-one, and it's going to be about that man. And this is how we're going to tie it up. This is how we're going to finish it. And I think people are just resorting or going after mediums because I'm having a bit of a rough ride. Or I've got 2 really big decisions I need to make here. Like, Christian, decide for me, please. And that's not what mediumship's about. The mediumship, it should be definitely stripped back to, one, everyone know what psychic energy is and what mediumistic energy is, for one. But I couldn't give a shit what's going on in my life. Like, I miss my mum, my dad, my sister so much. And you're only going to give me 24 minutes of that, of my sister coming through. Do you know what I mean? My heart was broken. My world imploded. And I'm not like, do I meet a new woman? Do I get a new job? I'm wounded. I'm
I
really
love that.
wounded. And that is, and people are not calling that out. And
Right.
so I can call it out. I can sit on the TikTok, I can sit on the Insta, I can sit on all of that, and I can call it out. But when 3,000 people are watching a live feed and there's no evidence of a spirit world there, and Charlie calls it out, 2,999 people attack Charlie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like all I can do is stand on my own stage and do it properly. All I can do is keep talking about it properly. I throw myself under the bus. I will do the read. I will do the dem. I will do the class. I will do the. But until people stop this fame-hungry, ego-driven stage for entertainment purposes, then it's just not going to get any better until you show the people how it gets better. So all of my clientele, all of them, they are not coming to like learn about what next week holds for them. They're there because they miss their mums so incredibly bad, and I'm there to heal. I'm there to heal that in whichever way I can, in the smallest amount that I can, and that is what the problem is.
I love that. I was grinning a little bit because I knew you were going to go off into that theater because I know Charlie when I asked that question. So that's why I did it for everybody's benefit there. That's wonderful. Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much. I feel like I've been baited out now, so thank
No,
you.
no, not at all. I just love that. Thank you, Charlie.
No worries. There you go. There you go. We've got Michelle. How are we, Michelle?
I'm good. How are you, Charlie?
I'm all good. I'm all good. I haven't thanked everyone, have I? So thanks for coming out, like spending your evening with me, trying an experiment on YouTube. So let's see how it
Hey,
goes anyway.
it's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for doing this.
Cool.
So I 1,000% am seeing what you just said in my professional dealings. That is a huge problem. It just makes me work harder as an evidential medium.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's happening everywhere. And to kind of piggyback off that, my question is the same question I've been asking since I've been seeing you for a few years now. And I think it'll be the same question I ask when I'm 80 and showing up here. And that is that there's always going to be a sitter in any given in any given position, whether it's a one-on-one or a dem that I just can't click with. Like I'm not getting a good information, or they don't understand how it works, or they're looking for psychic, or they're afraid.
Yeah.
It happens. It
Yeah.
happens.
There's a lot of variables at play as well there, though.
There is. But for me, I need consistency.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do still to make myself not have that bit of a panic. And like I need a process. Like, what do I do when that happens?
I mean, there's a number of approaches, and the problem, sorry, the problem that we have with the consistency is that we develop a relationship here with the spirit world, and we grow a little bit comfortable in that, and it's like I was talking about it with one of the previous questions. We tend to go there, and I'm working there, and that kind of happens. But we're also teaching ourselves that when that's a problem, we panic. Now, maybe they want psychic, maybe the communicator was shy in their real life or whatever. What is taking place is the parameters of expectancy and understanding are closing in. They're narrowing down. So, oh no, what am I gonna do? Oh no, here we go. This is all gonna go wrong. These ones always go wrong. So we're expecting it to go wrong, which means the parameters on the communicator are dropping in. So what will happen at that point is, let's say the guy is shy. What will happen is that in my mind, in the awareness of the altered state, I'm here with the communicator. And now I'm aware because, oh no, this reminds me of the last one that was shy. So I'm captured. So I think I was talking to Jennifer, and I must find a way of getting back to my individual. Where's my individual? So that mechanic is an absolute must. Where is it? But now I find him or her, whatever that is, and the parameters are in, then I need to convince myself that this is going to go anywhere, because my expectancy is failing. My expectancy is, oh no, here we go. We've got that feeling creeping in now, which means I'm captured. Where's the man? Where's the woman? And then I've got to be able to drop these parameters either side. And the way that I have to do that is like, where's the man? Recap, silent, recap, but this next bit's going to be random, which means random means there's no expectancy about to take place because I've gave him permission for random, which will broaden the parameters of expectancy on the relationship that I'm having with the man. So I need to trick Charlie in that moment and go, this next bit's random, to which the client usually says yes at the quickest in the read.
Okay.
Because I'm not trying to understand it. I'm not trying to work it out. I'm not trying to like, where's this go? What am I doing? It's like, it's random. But to the client, it's not random. To the client, it's their person. And so the parameters slide away, and now I've got access to it. Now, the reality is the way that you treat those people in real life, the shy people, the rude people, the whatever, your subconscious mind will do it. It will react as you do in life.
Mhm.
So, you know, there'll be irritants that you just don't like what some people do. And there's some things that just win you over because they've got a heart of gold or whatever. You will warm to that person much easier than the one that
Mhm.
irritates you. But it is
Yeah.
a subconscious behavior that you're having. And then we're working mediumistically, that's going to kind of part be second nature in what we're doing, that you're going to have this natural reaction in real life with the
Mhm.
communicator that comes in. So when I recognize, oh, I wouldn't like you, oh, I don't like you, I then need to be, I need a system that is going to get these parameters to drop down and not be
Right.
closing in on me because I don't like you. Um, I have to remind myself it's not about you, Charlie. It's about the client. It's not about you.
Right.
You know, that's what they've come for. That's who they want. It's not up to me to sort of judge this individual on whether I
Right.
like them or not. So my answer is trying to give you a couple of the variables. There are so many variables
There are.
that happens. But every single time, this is the go-to mechanic for it. You will be captured, which means they're not telling me it's gone blank. Oh my God. Then your attention becomes the blank, the
Mhm.
nothingness. So
Yeah.
I need to say the obvious thing that I've said already to this about this person that I've had validated by the client. So I move my mind from the captured blank, captured void or whatever, and I'm back with the lady, and she, you remember when she was talking about the flowers, and you say yes, then I can then get my next bit in, because I'm moving it away from panic button, voidness.
So it's almost like calming your subconscious that's
You have to,
panicking
yeah.
by going back to the yes.
I, th- I actually think it's yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. But I don't think it's you're calming the subconscious. I think intuitively your spirit is saying to the spirit, like, give her a minute, she'll catch up. Give her a minute. Your spirit will be doing that, won't it? So if that's the case, it's got to be my ego. It's got to be because
Yeah.
my human is like in panic mode, like, fuck, what are we gonna do? I need to sort this out. I look silly. My ego
Yeah.
has to be in play down. So I've got to stabilize that. And I can correct the ego by going, stop being an idiot and focusing on the blank, on the nothingness, on the awkwardness, on the no, whatever that is. Where's the lady that liked flowers? There she is. And now she's going to tell me something random, drop the parameters, and the reading's up and running again. And no one looks an idiot. And I survived the moment that could have come crashing down. So I think we're still in spirit.
Okay.
I think it's the showmanship or the fear of, isn't it? So
Oh, absolutely. I can have two people sitting in front of me, and that happens with one. And then I'm like, okay, I got to go to the next. And the next can be just flowing.
yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute,
But
like, what happened here?
if I go back to the ingredients that I don't let me draw it in a different way. If I've got this idea of who I am and I'm offering this here, and then I've got a client, then I've got the space that I would offer this mixing bowl into with the spirit world. Come on, spirit world, bake me a cake. They're shit ingredients, aren't they? They're really shit ingredients that I'm offering here. So
Yes.
like Justin, there'll be a few people that will nod. I can't see anyone, so it's kind of weird right now. But it's just me and you. But there will be this scenario where whether it be you or a number of people in the room, I'll say to the individuals, so how's it going? And you'll be like, yeah, it's going fine. It's just every now and again, this goes wrong. What I'm saying is, how are you with medium? You're like, yeah, it goes well, but I'm expecting it to go wrong, And so it's this expectancy at some point, I've had a good 4 weeks, nothing terrible's happened. So it's due soon. And then one day you kind of like, I've rode the wave way too long. Like, can we maybe fuck this one up a little bit? And the spirit world are going to join on that one, and they'll be like, why today? Why have you done that today? So now they have to work through these ingredients that aren't perfect for making a cake. A little bit salty, a little bit sweet, a little bit wet, a little bit too dry, whatever it'll be. It's gonna start manifesting because you're putting it in the bowl. So that's where I offset my mixing bowl, my ingredients that I'm offering the spirit world. I am an idiot. I am an idiot. They make me look amazing, honestly. They make me look amazing. So my confidence is in them, not in me, because I'm an idiot. But my confidence is in that. Now, see, when I want to send a text message, I grab my phone up there, grab my phone, and my confidence in this device is not even a thought. I'm going to send a message and I know they're going to receive it. I know they are. That's how confident I am in my latest fucking iPhone thing that's how confident I am. I don't even think it's today the day that this text message doesn't go through. I've got no, I'm going to send it, bang, and that's it. End of, period. I know they received that. That's how I feel with this lot behind me. I know they're going to get their message through today. I'm using the latest iPhone, so that's what we're doing. Bang, done. Don't even think about it. So I think what it all boils down to, after years and years of development and years of personal growth and looking at your life and the decisions you've made and everything like that, I actually think it's a fear that we're putting in there, that anything good that we've ever had has always gone. It's been taken away. And so I'm just expecting it to go wrong for me at some point, because that's what life has taught me. But what the spirit world have taught me is they're the only ones that have ever stood by it, ever.
True. Absolutely.
And so I lean into that. I lean into that offset. So I'm allowed to be an idiot. I'm allowed to make mistakes. But they won't make mistakes. And I lean into that. So when I lean into that with the right ingredients of my faith in that, my surrender in that, right, I've turned up to do the job. What am I saying? What have I got to do? And then I do it. That's why it works out with things like that. But other than that, like, you can make mistakes and stuff and you own it or whatever. It's just not allowed in my mediumship bowl. And the reason for that is because the client don't care if I'm tired. Client don't care if I'm this, that, or the other, whatever. The client don't care. So you don't do that in any other way of life, do you? So if you order a coffee at Starbucks and you go up and you get your coffee and it is ice cold and you didn't order an ice cold coffee, you complain. You don't sit there and think, I reckon that young girl is maybe new at this job. Maybe she was scared this morning. Maybe she didn't sleep at all last night, and that's why it's all going wrong for her. My coffee's bad. We don't do that. I want to change it. I want it hot, and we get angered, and then we do whatever. We never think of that in between, ever. And you're the in between to the client. You're the in between. So I need to deliver. I've got this one shot. This is it. One moment in this client's mind. This is it. This is all I've got. That moment. They don't care that I didn't eat or I ate too much or I'm tired, I'm fatigued, or they don't care. This is my one shot to prove that you're here. Ready? What am I saying? Let's go.
Yeah.
And then I do it. So tidy up the bowl. What's going in the
I
bowl?
was just going to say, take it out of the bowl, period.
Yeah. Exactly.
Expect that it won't happen.
Exactly that. I expect it to be right. I said it sounds a little bit arrogant, but why would they give me it wrong? They wouldn't give me it wrong. So I've just got to still myself enough to listen.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling when it happens, because I'm like, I've been doing this long enough. I know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I'm not making stuff up.
Yeah.
But when they look at me like, well, then I haven't delivered it properly.
Maybe. No, again, the variables kick in. So there are people that will make bookings because they saw a post about you on Insta or TikTok or whatever. They see how good she is, and and we make an arrangement prior. So I'm just, even if she's right, I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
And
true.
things like that happen.
Or
Things
you
like
could
that
bring in like the love of their life and they wanted to hear their mom and
yeah,
they're just not going to accept that.
absolutely. So there's so many variables that go with it. So what I
Okay.
tend to focus on is the positive aspects in my journey. So I usually use the window at the side here. So if I look at the bottom of the garden, the weeds, I need to go and weed treat and get it sorted out and blah blah blah. And I can keep focusing on that, and in a couple of days I'll end up attacking it because it's just doing me head in. That's all I can see when I look out the window. Is this negative lens on life, isn't it? It's negative
Right.
lens. But equally, today we've had a little robin just perched on the window and he just keeps tapping away, and it's like he wants in. And then he flies back to his nest and he feeds his little people, his little birds. And then he's back at the window and he's tapping on the window, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. And I think I saw like a quail outside earlier run into the bush, and I was like, "Oh no, don't you lot start breeding in the garden." Absolutely beautiful. Or I can focus on the weeds at the end.
Right.
And so I need to be mindful. How am I approaching this week with my mediumship, my classes, my dems, my whatever? And if it's got that negative undertone, I need to be mindful of it. And let's change that. Let's swap out some ingredients here.
Or that fear of like, oh gosh, I hope I don't have that one person again.
Oh, they'll be there. They'll be there if that happens. If you think like that, they'll 100. They're being delivered, aren't they?
No, well, I'm going
They're
to change
being
that. I'm
delivered.
going to manifest them right out of the way.
That
I'll
is
send them to somebody
literally,
else.
literally the basic understanding of the law of attraction, isn't it? So
Exactly.
please, please, please don't be there. They will definitely be there. So it's
Okay. Well, thank you, Charlie.
no worries, no worries. Let me on spotlight there, and let's get spotlight on there. Kathy,
Hey, Charlie, thank you.
no worries.
I recently heard a term called shared death experience
Shared
and
death.
shared death
Okay.
experience. Yes, first time I heard about it. And it's where when somebody loves a person and then that person passes,
Yeah.
they experience that person visiting them in that instant.
Oh,
And
okay, right. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Okay. They're calling it that. And
That's
how
2025's label, isn't it? I didn't
I
realize.
think so.
I haven't kept up to date with the labels. That's all it is. Yeah.
How do you explain something like that happening to somebody who's not a medium or doesn't imagine that it could happen?
Well,
They don't believe
I
themselves.
mean, probably a lot of us have ended up on this pathway because of something like that. So
Yeah.
if it's not exactly that, it will be in the realms of something weird, unexplainable, and that's how we ended up on the pathway of a development, isn't it? So I think I'm not sure. I'm just not sure there is a textbook answer that I can give to someone that's just explain that to me. I'm just not sure that that's available. Basically, it's I don't see. It's going to need a little bit of context, but I don't see humans as the humans as much now. It's more the energy of the spirit in the human form, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so if I've got a shared space, so me and Carol, me and Carol, me and Carol, and I understand that energy and I grow to love or enjoy that energy in any way, and it's like part of my daily routine for however many years, and then that separation, I'm going to be aware of that, whether I'm a medium or not. I'm going to be aware of that separation.
Yes.
And some people will get that in a picture form, like in a visual, and other people will have that feeling of dread, like I knew something bad had happened. But that's because it's energetic, not because they're a medium or not a medium. It's an energy that they're aware of. Even mediums have those sentient moments, don't they, where they're like, "Oh, I feel like, you know, I don't know, Ali's gonna call." And then the phone rings, and no way, it's you! I can't believe you, man. We were just talking about you, and it's mind blowing for them, isn't it? But Actually, it's not mind blowing at all. If it's in Ali's mind, like I need to call Charlie, I need to call Charlie, I need to call Charlie, and I'm dialing in hypersensitivity around energy, and I'm picking up the idea of there's going to be a phone call from Ali, there's going to be a phone call from Ali. It's actually not that wild, is it? It's actually
Yeah.
really normal. It's getting out of the prison that is the human. So
Good way to put
that
it.
that people are so caught up, aren't they? They're so caught up in that identity, which if we strip that one step back is an ego. It's identity is the ego, isn't it? So I think we're so caught up in that, rather than the idea of a collective, pool of water, a collective one, and each droplet is you, me, Ali, so on and so forth. We get emotional, because we can't express, or the attention's not on me. So we get caught up in all of that identity stuff that goes with it. You see it most days, don't you? So it could be something as simple as this, a class or whatever. It could be something as simple as that, and you say something that annoys the next person. That next person, whoever that next person is, that's going to flash up on the monitor, they wholeheartedly believe in the morning that you woke up and decided you're going to wreck their world. I'm going
Yeah.
to go out of my way and I'm going to just live in their head rent free, and I'm going to wind them up. That's actually how an individual thinks, isn't it? And the reality is, you wasn't a second thought to that individual. So it's that bit where we're caught up in the human and the emotion of the human. That's just one really obvious example. So the people that are having the experience, that everyday kind of individual, and they see shared death experience, whatever that is, the shared death experience is because they are probably very, very close to the energy, wherever my pen has gone, which I'll draw like that, not as stick men, but me, you, and then that vacates, that leaves, they're gonna be aware of it, aren't they? And that's where people will then fall into the development of mediumship, because if they see, then a teacher will tell them they're predominant clairvoyant. But if they felt it, the teacher would say they're predominant clairsentient. Yeah. So it's I think it's normal. I think a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
people have these experiences. That's clearly why it's got a new title for 2025. But you do just know, but it's an energetic knowing. That's why, because it's gone, separated.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries. Let me remove that spotlight. There we go. And to you, Ali.
Hi, Charlie, and loving the questions. It's they've all been so useful to listen to. My question does dovetail into a little bit of what you've spoken about, but I think it's a slightly different slant. I think there's probably an ego base to it, but I still would really love some advice onto what you do in the moment. And it's about DEMS, and it's about how you can maintain the energy of the dem with the crowd. So even though you start off and you explain you need to hear their voices, you need them to come forward, because you're doing throw-out mediumship.
Yeah.
Having done dems where the energy is high, it's so easy, it's much easier to work because you're kind of there and you're just in the flow. When people are being a little bit like, oh, I can kind of take that, and you're checking, well, what can't you understand? And there isn't anything, or you clear it up quite quickly. And then at the end of the dem, they're queuing to show me a picture of the red motorbike they weren't quite sure about in the middle of the
Yeah, of
dem.
course, of
And
course. That's
how do
normal.
you, is there a way of managing the crowd? Because ultimately, I suppose it is ego, because if they now know that bit of evidence, then I've done my job, but it makes it hard in the moment in that 2 hours of managing that space when you've got a lot of and I don't want the long queue of people at the end very excited to tell me about all the stuff
Yeah, that you
I
got
told them
right.
about in the den.
Yeah. I think I think firstly you have to be, whether you like it or not, if you're going to go down and venture down like a platform demonstrating kind of style, there has to be like an element of charisma
Mhm.
or showmanship where people really warm to the nature of the individual. You would stop going to see a medium if they kept closing their eyes, for one, you know, like, I'm aware of a man and he shows me blue, and who's Dave to you? And you'd be like, what the fuck? What is this? So you'd
Mm.
go and see him once, but the energy would
Yeah.
fall flat, and it wouldn't really work. So there has to be that level of engagement with the audience that
Mhm.
you're likable, at least,
Yeah.
to go from there. Now, I mean, you need to create. You need to, like, the person that I am on stage is not the person I am at home. And so I've created a little bit of a personality where I can be direct or blunt or humorous or whatever, dependent on all the variables. So if someone's taking their time, like because then people are always around, aren't they?
Yeah.
Let me think, and you're kind of like, move, hurry up, but you can't do certain things, can you? So especially in a church or whatever. So I personally can lean on cheekiness because of the persona I've put out there. So I'll
Yeah.
say to them, take your time, we've got all night, don't worry about it. No one else has paid a ticket here, don't worry about it. And then put the motion onto them, you know. So but other than that, it's kind of like you just gotta like take the hit.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't know about the motorbike, but you do understand this fast pace of life that I was talking about. Yeah, cool. Let's move on. And then I move on. Um, and you know, sometimes you get the cue and they go, oh, he did have a red motorbike.
Yeah.
And other times you'll just never know. You'll just never know. So it's about the mode, that like keeping it going, keeping it moving,
Yeah.
etc. Now, if I'm very much in my head, you know, I've got a heckler, I've got one that wants to take their time, and I've got one going, no, his name's not Steve, and you're checking it, and you're like, well, why am I getting that? And they go, it's Stephen. You just want to throttle those people, don't you? There's nothing you can do. But what is happening in that moment is I'm moving away from a connected oneness kind of mediumistic energy to one of the psyche and reading the room kind of energy. And
Yeah.
that is demonstrated by this here, this. So the energy of the room is easily obtainable when I'm plugged in, but when I
Yeah.
have to take control myself and I have to wander around it, the battery's going to start running out. And
Yeah.
so I've got to make sure that I go back and I connect. And so it's the problem is in development that you've got is that you'll be going to your schools around the globe, your Lily Dales, the Arthur Finleys, you know, all of that kind of stuff, and it's all one big social, really. You're working with people that are like-minded, etc. And then you've got like the levels of competition that come into play with those type of things as well. So now you're doing that, and then you know you end up embarking on more dialed in. I want to focus more on that, and you find someone like me, and then you're all in the room, and you're there over like the course of a year, and every single person in the room's bar has gone up, so no
Yeah.
one sees the bar go up because everyone moves with the bar. Then you go out and you try and dem like you do on a mentoring package that you've been working a year at, and statements are dialed in and they're tidied up and the presentation's perfect. And you go out and work with people that, you know, they think the TV mediums are amazing. You
Yeah.
know, help, my house is haunted is like, oh my God, what would I do? That you're working with that mentality. And so you're probably, not you personally, but mediums, I think, are trying so hard to make the reading so dialed in for someone that isn't even thinking about dialed in mediumship. They're just like,
Yeah.
talk about the ghosts, talk about my life, talk about the simplicity of the statement can actually come down to get them on board. and then
Yeah.
I can maybe start dialing it in. So I think mediums' biggest mistakes are trying to make it sound good for someone they do not know. This is platform demonstration and
Yeah.
one-to-one with a communicator they do not know. So that's 2 out of the 3 points of the communication triangle. Know nothing about this individual, and I know nothing about this individual. And I'm telling myself that I'm making it sound good for both of these people, which I know nothing about. How can I gauge that? How can
Yeah.
I'm going to be off. So when it comes through and it's basic, really, really basic information, I know the communicator is telling me they know nothing about a spirit world. Nothing.
Yeah.
When it comes through and it's really dialed in and I can see every fine detail, is this person's been to 50 mediums before. They know what mediumship is. So it's dialed in, real dialed in, and it's like the structure's perfect, and the communicator's telling me everything I need to know about the client, whether it be a one-to-one or a, but I am leaning into that.
Yeah.
So it's, you're not going to get those results if you're not leaning into it, because the element of control will override areas, or self-fulfilling
Yeah.
moments will override the intuition that you're being guided to do. Be easy here, be really dialed in here, or whatever. So, and you'll notice it at the dems, like there'll be some dems where it's just like it's real basic kind of stuff, and then one of them is like really facts and figures all the way through. Then you know you've just gone to another medium, a
Yes.
competent medium, you know. So yeah, so it's the leaning into. So that's how I would maintain it. So you got to talk it down. Mediums have this idea on a chart, on a graph, that the dem's got to be at 8s and 9s for the whole way through, all the way through the dem, and it's just not going to be like that. What it needs to be is, let's say, I'll draw 6 links for your average dem, and it needs to start off, win them all over, and leave them on a high. Next communicator, start off, lift it, leave it on a high, and over the course of the evening, the bar will go up ever so slightly all the way through till you've got that one on a high. And when we do
Yeah.
that on the last link after your hour or whatever, so I've you know, left them on a high, everyone's clapping and whatever. And then when we get there, at that point, the person of the church, the booking secretary, you're not even off the stage, and they like, can I book you for next year?
Yeah.
But it was managed, wasn't it? I managed my dem all the way through. It was energy management all the way through. I'm not trying to come out 8s and 9s on link 1 and then 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, because I used all my energy on link 1. That's stupid. Mediums do it though. Mediums will stand out. They'll put all their energy into that first link. Let's do it. And then links 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are shit. It's like you missed that call. You messed that one up. That's on you. You decided to put
Yes.
all the power into that. So it's a building. Now, if you go to anything, you go to your favorite band. You have the pre-bit, whatever what's that called? Support band. You'll have the support
Yeah.
band. They'll get the energy in the room, and they'll cheer everyone out, and then you get the main band, and they start off with their latest one, you know, or here's some
Yeah.
experimental music that we're doing. But here we go. We're coming out with the fans' favorites now. Here, fan favorites, and then we've got like the finale, and it was, oh my god, that concert was amazing. You go and watch a stand-up comedian. He's prepping his audience for the whole duration of the 1 hour show that you're going to. It's a stage.
Yeah.
Work the stage. That's obvious. But mediums, for some reason, come out here, and then wonder why they can't maintain the finale at any other gig that they're doing. Is like trying to start a concert, your favorite band, and do the finale all the way through the gig. Is not going to happen. People are gonna. It's built up, isn't it? It's a building process. Prep the crowd, prep the audience. So yeah.
It makes so much sense. It does make so much sense. And just suck up the queue of people that want to tell you about the evidence afterwards.
It depends. It
Take it in the
depends.
moment.
It depends what you kind of want to do, isn't it? So, I was a medium, and I'm really, really passionate about it. I'm not sure it comes across right, but I'm really passionate about it. But when I was developing as a medium, I had so many questions, so many. And I would go to all the big names. You could rattle off a load of big names, and I'd been to see them all, and it would be like, I just want to ask them about this. I just want that. Just 2 minutes of their time. I just want to ask them about that. What do they think about that? What can I do about that? Whatever it was, whatever my question was. And I'd be gallivanting around the country watching these people, or on their workshops, or in their classrooms, or whatever. And I'd be trying to ask their question, and I'd get in their car and fuck off. And step off their stage and leave and just go. And I never got to ask my question. Never got to do it. So you start signing up for residentials, don't you? You know, the best ones in the world as well. And you go around, but now you're not even allowed to talk to a tutor in a hallway. Like, heaven forbid you speak to anyone in a car park or on a break. You're not allowed to do that. Do not do that. And so no questions are getting answered. So I can't ask them at your workshops or your classes, can't ask them at the residential, and I can't ask them at your shows. When am I meant to ask these fucking questions? And no one is around, are they? No one's around ever. That I decided the moment I got good enough to be on a stage, run a circle, run a workshop, run a class, run a residential, be employed for residentials, do my own residentials, that I'm never off the clock. Ever. So I finish classes at 10 p.m. and I'm still sat here at midnight some nights answering the questions that have kept people up. This very feed today was a day off. A day off. And I want to do this video and answer the questions when all the mediums run away and they're not answering the general public's questions. Who are they meant to go to?
That is true. You do stay on after every class until every
Every single
question is
class.
answered. And in your residential, you eat with us. You're in the evenings. You're always available
Follow me
for
in the
any
hallway.
questions. Yeah, absolutely.
You're probably better off if you want more time than that. You're probably better off take up smoking. So in my break, I'm outside smoking. If you start smoking, you'll get more time with me, won't you? So
I'll work on that between now and October then.
yeah, that's it. So it's one of those, yeah. So I decided very early on that I'm not going to be that guy that jumps in my convertible and drives off.
Yeah.
That I'm going to be around for people. That people will shit talk about everyone and anyone, and my name will be in that hat. But they can't say that I'm in it for the money and I'm in the car and I'm
absolutely.
off and whatever. I answer everything all of the time. So, and I simply am that way because when I was in my own intensive journey, no one stuck around to answer a question. So,
yeah. Well, we appreciate it and thank you. And thank you for the questions.
I appreciate the questions tonight. So it's hopefully it helps someone, isn't it? That's what we're trying to do. So
definitely.
Thank you for your question. Cool. So there you go. We got now Xander.
Hi, Charlie. Nice to see you.
And you, mate. And you.
How is it going?
How is what? Sorry.
How is it going?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. I think what's going to be really weird is when I come off the 2 spotlights and I go in, there's fucking room full of people. I think that's going to feel a little bit weird, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, yeah, I mean,
so, I love this Q&As because you have moments to think about what you are saying and everybody else is questioned, so that's good. So you have already explained a little bit about what I'm has written down for a question, for example. But I want you to talk a little bit about when you see a house, for example, when you see a hospital with a spirit communicator, and you see a hospital, and you add more information. You talked about that earlier, that if you just see a man with a boat, it's not just a fisher, you know?
Yeah.
Can you explain bit about that.
Well, a lot of people, a lot of people. I'm already giggling because I can imagine how many eyes are just rolled in the room for the because they know that they'll feel like I'm talking about them. So there will be this demand, an absolute demand through development. I'm giggling because I just know the effects it's going to have. And it'll be, I want to be good, I want to be accurate, I'm putting loads of time and effort and money and whatever, all this investment on the medium's part into it. And I just want it to be clear, I just want it to be quick, I just want it to be, perfect. And then now, in your example, they'll see water and they'll say that the man liked fishing. And they saw water. They'll see a nurse and they'll say he died in hospital, and they're not talking about the nurse. They assume, they fill in the blank, that they add words and they embellish whatever it is. So what in that very example that I'm giving, what you need to be saying from the spirit world is, he's showing me water. You would understand the water. And they would say yay or nay at that point. And now he takes me to a nurse. But mediums are like, so I see a large body of water, so I know he lived by the seaside, or he liked fishing, or he has a pond. And terrible. Here's pick A, B, or C for me, and tell me which one I'm right with. So now I know that he had like a long passing, but you don't pass at home. He passes out hospital, or there is trips to the hospital, or he missed the hospital appointment, and then I'll butt in, won't I? And I'll be like, why are you doing that? Why are the options? What are you doing there? And I'll be like, well, I saw a nurse. Then say nurse, and it's fixed. So mediums get a statement, and then they get another statement, and they are trying to work out how them two go together. They're trying to understand the relevance between these two. So that plus that equals a story that I didn't receive, but it kind of makes sense. I'm going to assume that that's right. And then it will go wrong. And then the medium will go, why does it keep going wrong? Because you keep filling this bit in. You keep adding these two together. So that is what mediums are doing. So it's if you need to say blue, say blue. Don't say blue like. Blue, for example. He's showing me blue because of. Don't do that. Just say blue. Get the relationship with my team as consistent and as accurate as I possibly can. And the more I do that, I'll get what I need to say is blue, or whatever the color blue is. So yeah.
Thank you for that. And I also have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
What was your biggest aha moment from Spirit World?
Biggest, I need to understand the question. So biggest aha moment for me as an individual.
As an individual. I know that you don't like to speak about yourself, but hey ho,
it's gonna say it's a really shit answer. It's really shit.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what it is. That my biggest aha moment was realizing that I am not the center of the universe. And I am not, and the self-fulfilling part of my development, I'd wasted years on it, years understanding that story for this person who I will never see again, who I'll probably never see again, and I'm trying to control it and understand it and work it out, and I'm just a spiritual Amazon Prime driver. They give me a box to deliver, and I've just got to give it and then move, go next drop, and drop the box off. So my biggest aha moment was realizing, whatever angle you go at, I am number 3 in that dynamic. The client is the most important, because without the client, I don't get to work with the spirit world. And if it's the spirit world that's the most important, then I need their person in the room. So 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. On both ways, I'm still. But teachers won't teach that. Like, you've got this special gene now, Xander. You have been chosen. You have been chosen. You The God that we all worship through the many guises, through the 3,000 plus religions that we have on planet Earth, speaks of equality in every single way, form, book, whatever, except this occasion, because you are handpicked to do this job. You are handpicked. You are the golden child. And you need to understand everything that you're saying for a person you know nothing about.
Mm.
If that doesn't send alarm bells off for someone that teaches in that manner, we've got a problem. Really, we've got a problem. So yeah. So the biggest aha moment is I'm actually in service. I don't need a list ticking off, and I don't need anything fulfilled on my part. Just get to your person. So the spirit communicator turns up and just do the best you can with your person. And that will be in the form of evidence or healing or whatever. It's I am irrelevant in that moment. That was the biggest moment for me.
Okay. So maybe it's a language barrier for me to ask that question, because I thank you for the answer, but my question was more like, what
That's
was
what I
the moments in your experience with the spirit world? When did you realize that this was not playing around with you? It was the real shit.
It was
So,
real. Probably when my sister's ring manifested on my knee.
wow.
So I'd lost it, it was gone, it had disappeared, and then I screamed at the ceiling, as you do.
Yeah.
Where is it? And then it materialized on my knee. Was when loads of life-changing moments happened for me at that point, actually. So yeah.
Okay.
So that was the evidence I needed. I think I was quite a demanding student, quite a demanding medium. I only to later on down the line realize like I'm irrelevant. So yeah, so quite demanding, got my evidence, but equally my promises and my words are valuable to me. And so once that had happened, I kind of promised the spirit world I'd do everything in my power to show that they're there, evidentially. And
Yeah.
so far I've stuck to that. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to do it. So yeah. So the materialization of my sister's ring that I'd lost, yeah, was the moment for me.
Thank you so much, Charlie.
No worries. Let's get rid of your spotlight from there. Hetzel, is that? Hetzel.
Hi, Charlie.
Yo, you good?
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for doing this. I
No,
feel privileged to ask question one-on-one.
no worries. No worries.
I'm a very new to this, and I just wanted to know your thoughts on how long does someone need to sit in the power before they get connection to the spirit guides, or just the faith that I have got a team
Yeah,
with me
the
is
latter.
enough.
The latter, yeah. They're there.
Okay, so you
They're absolutely
okay.
there. But what you'll do is you'll create this system of calling cards, I think people call it. You need an awareness. So whether that be cobwebs on your face or whether it be a shiver up your back or whatever, is what is happening is the team are moving in to your space, and then your brain in that, your brain then has to send a signal to give you cobwebs or to give you a shiver. So
Yes.
it's like a double burning of energy. So you can have special moments, like you could go and sit with them or have the intention of inviting them, like come and join me, and you may or may not be aware, which is absolutely fine. But the knowledge is that they are there. That over time, if you kept doing that, there'd be this very subtle change for you, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's them. I know they're here now." And that is where the work would be different. Now you can do like visualization exercises to introduce you to the team, You can do things like that, which are very, very beneficial maybe early on at the stage that you're at, to give you the seeing is believing part of it. But later on down the line, a decade, 15, 20 years down the line, them exercises are no longer required. You kind of, you know what you're doing, you know where they are, you know they're there. And so it's, you kind of, you're trying to convince yourself at the moment that they are there, but I'm not aware, but you're looking so
Yes.
hard for it.
Yes.
So it's in the looking so hard for it, you're missing the subtlety that is mediumship. So strongly recommend any visualization technique that would.
Yeah, I tried to follow your corridor meditation.
Yeah. So you've tried that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and what, you didn't see them?
no. And
No.
that's why I'm like, am I doing something wrong?
No,
Because
no, no,
even,
but
you
there's
go to the door.
it means that you're expecting. So it goes back to the drawing earlier where we've got parameters on. We've got parameters on that.
Mm,
And you're
yeah,
expecting a face, you're expecting it to be a man or a woman. And so because of that expectancy, it will stop the visual. It's outside of awareness. So this can be
okay.
absolutely anything, absolutely anything. And then you may see a tree.
Mm,
And now we're going to start moving in the right direction. We're loosening up expectation. So just
okay.
have no care for it. Like whoever it is, I don't care. So it's going to be random. You're going to show me it through whatever.
Yeah,
A
okay.
lot of people where they're stuck in the visual of, you would have to go through like the back door as such and start off by feeling it, feeling them there. And then trusting that feeling and feeling and feeling and let me see you. And you can sort of trick your expectancy out of the way.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's 100% there because you're alive, which means they're there.
Yes.
So it's just the expectancy of what that is.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's it'll get there. So I wouldn't worry about it too much right now. Um,
Okay.
but yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
I know
That's good.
people that have had an entire career, and they never met them in that sense. So it's nothing to
Yeah.
worry
Okay. So
about.
just a few. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
So leave the
embrace it, just
expectations
enjoy it.
behind.
Yeah, just enjoy it. So too many people are not enjoying mediumship. It's more of a chore. Oh, this is hard work. Whereas it should be magical, right? Magical. And if you enjoy and embrace the magical, then it'll all start falling into place. So yeah, enjoy it. So
Mm.
smile with it. My recommendation would be there. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
no
One
worries.
more question.
Fire away.
When I sit in practice circles, I try to do the connections. When I get connection, I can, describe who the person is, and the sitter knows that, yeah, this is my mom or my dad.
Yep.
But then I don't get any messages. Is it because my connection is not strong, or?
No, it's because you're expecting the message. Again, it's the same problem that you've got.
Okay.
You're expecting to understand the message. Now it may be, I miss you, I love you. It may be, stop dragging your heels, get the job done, move this, do that, whatever. But you're kind of piecing it all together to understand what the message is. And because you're not getting it as a full download, the whole message, you're not saying the little bits that you are getting.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you kind of want 5 bits together before you'll speak, and your brain is full with that one bit that takes to start it. So that what happens there is it kind of unfolds. So it's kind of like this bit of paper here. So there's a message of love, but and you're like, but what do I do in the message? Love,
Mm-hmm.
but what do I do in the message? You've got to say love. I need to talk about love, and it'll unfold, and then it'll unfold, and it'll unfold, and ta-da. So yeah, you've got
Okay.
to start it. You've got to move the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got to
Makes
liken
sense.
that to like a glass of water.
Mm.
So like that's my mind, and the spirit world can add all of that in between as the message. whereas you're filled to the brim. And you're like, tell me what the message is, but you're thinking too much. The glass is too full. You've got to empty the glass. So I know I need to talk about love, and then you'll get the next bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Thank you so much, Charlie.
No worries. There you go. And who we got there? Is that Caroline? We had a spotlight to you there. Caroline. Caroline. My bad.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Wonderful. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks, Charlie, for this opportunity.
No worries.
I have a question. I'm a newbie, so I'm sorry. Perhaps this might be kind of, a dumb
There's
question.
newbies all over the world, isn't there? So it doesn't.
So basically, so here's an example. Basically, is how do I get that additional information? For instance, in one sitting, I can see the grandmother.
Yep.
Okay. And how I knew it was grandmother, I got the feeling of grandmother.
Yep.
Okay. So I get that to a client, and then I'm kind of, I think in my mind, like, what would you like me to say, to your loved one? And she just stares at me. I don't get anything else.
Yeah.
And then
But
she
that
smiles,
again, that is that. That
what
is
am I
that
doing?
there. You're expecting it to go somewhere. So let's change the idea of what mediumship is in your head. So like mediums have got this idea that they're running to the spirit world, they're banging on the door, they're locating the nan, and then they've got to extract the evidence from nan to give to the client. That's what mediums think, don't they? So what we got to try and do in your head is that the client enters the room, nan wants to talk to her. Nan wants to say all the things that she's been dying to say. She's desperate to tell her granddaughter that she's in the room. So you haven't got to do anything. You've just got to receive it. You've just got to wait and receive it in that sense. You haven't got to go and get the information. But if you recognize that she's a nan, then what we do is we whack her in a box of nan, in the nan box. So I'm judging nan. And then I'm waiting for the next statement that sounds like a nan.
Okay.
Now, there are nans out there now in 2025 that aren't baking nanas, and they don't wear frocks, and they go and get a purple rinse or a pink rinse like Susan. They don't do things like that now. Nanas now, they have tattoos on their forehead. They've got Instagram reels, and they're out, clubbing, with a guy half her age, and that's nanas now, isn't it? So you've got this idea of what a nan is, and you're waiting for this information to come in that doesn't exist because it doesn't fit that lady. Then it would be, I'm just staring at you. So if you said to me, tell me about your love of shoes, I would be like, I don't have a love of shoes. So what do you want me to say there? I don't know what you want me to do. So you're asking the wrong question and expecting.
Your voice actually came into my head. Let it just say what comes in.
Yeah, let it.
And she smiled at me, and then like a quick close, and I didn't. So then I just kind of patiently waited, and then I started kind of, oh my gosh, I'm taking too long.
Yeah.
Feeling started, and she gave me something else, but then I was just like, she gave me water, and I was like, your voice was like, don't say don't say lake, just say water.
Just say water, yeah.
Yeah, and so I did, and she was like, she couldn't take anything.
Yeah,
she took the grandmother.
Yeah, no, I understand. That sometimes when you're giving a statement and you're locked down in the parameters that you've put on, I've judged this lady a little bit too hard and I'm trying to get absolutely anything. Maybe we need more than just water. Water, no idea what that is. Now she makes me aware of whatever this is, and now she makes me aware of, and usually on that third or fourth one, the client's like, oh, I know everything that you're talking about there. I just needed a bit more. That's all it is. So the key there is do not panic. Do not panic. That's all you've got to do in that moment. The moment you start panicking, up comes the attention, your attention's in panic mode, and now you've got a world of problems on your hands because I need to get the lady back and so on and so forth. So
She gave me some cultural stuff, like kind of kimonos and stuff. And I didn't say that because I didn't want, I thought because the person was from a cultural background, and I thought they'll probably assume that I'm assuming. Maybe this is my mind making it up, so I just didn't say that.
well, but the thing is, if you're getting those individual bits and you're asking yourself the question, oh, I don't know, it's like I feel like maybe I'm assuming, or the way to stop that argument is to offer that to the client. You understand why she's showing me, and the
Okay.
client would say, well, yeah, she's from there.
Okay, I
And then
see.
you would understand why you're doing this, and then she's from there, you know. So to stop the argument that you might as well, you've got
Just say it.
well, you've got a number of outcomes, aren't you? If I don't say it, I'm going to sit here in silence. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be assuming. So I might as well ask the client. Well, not ask the client. I'm going to offer it to the client, and the client will tell me yes or no, won't they? Which stops all the internal arguments that I could possibly have with myself. And the worst case scenario in all of them is the client says no. And so then I've just got to work my mechanics, haven't I? Okay, maybe I am assuming. Maybe I have judged her a little bit too much. So I need you to talk about something completely random for me, or talk about your family, talk about your hometown, talk about something which is under control. Totally get that. But the reading is failing. So I need to take control so I can get the energy moving so I can then go, right, stabilized, over to you. What am I saying now? And we're up and running again. So.
Okay. One more question.
Yeah, far away.
I heard somebody say that it's better to just continue to keep talking.
No.
No? Okay.
Nope.
Because then you will lose the connection. And
No,
so
you're what? I don't understand that mentality. You're not going to lose the connection if the client's in the room. You're on my monitor. So if we've got your nana in the spirit world and your nana wants to talk to you, how am I going to lose her? She wants to talk to you. So like she's not going to go, oh, I'm out, you're taking too long. I've got a spirit dog to walk and a spirit job to get to.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? She's desperate to speak to you. My God, look, the spirit world's real. Look, I'll wait for as long as you need. Stay there. They're not going to go anywhere. So you're not going to lose anything by talking and talking and talking becomes gibberish and delusional, and your client's like, yep, she's crazy, this one.
They were saying like kind of have like a template or something, like kind of like now they're giving me this, and then that it'll come in.
I think I understand what they're saying there. And that's exactly what I just said. Like, talk about your home, talk about your family, talk about because it is falling flat on its face. So that would get it moving. Is it ideal? No. But did the reading fail? No, we kept it going. So I understand that. But I wouldn't get comfortable with a set like stock questions. I wouldn't get comfortable with it because you're going to ask the same not the same, every communicator, the same questions. And that's going to be a problem for you down the line. So you'll get bored of it very quickly. So yeah.
Thank you, Charlie.
No problem. Are we at there? Cool. Oh yeah, I see ya. And add spotlight. So the finale, is this the finale, this one? Yeah, cool. Hi, Karen Jo, how are you?
Hey, good, Charlie. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Thank you for doing this and for caring enough about everybody to answer these kind of questions.
It's just, I mean, I can't, you would have heard me earlier saying if I jump on a live feed and there's 3,000 people watching and I go, oi, that's psychic and you're pretending mediumship, 2,999 people attack me, don't they? So it makes sense that if I teach thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people to do it properly, then we can all jump on a live feed, and then the numbers are the other way around, aren't they? So So yeah, so it's a means to an end in that sense. I'm doing it for the spirit world. That there's lots of decent voices out there fighting the corner of evidence and philosophy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so it's actually my pleasure, really my pleasure to do it. Cool.
Well, I wanted to ask you, I have a strong psychic background, and thanks to some of the things that you've said about giving up control, which was difficult to hear, but 100% accurate.
Yeah.
It really helped. But what I noticed is that I can do many, many hours of psychic work in a day before I feel like, ugh.
Yeah.
Maybe about a quarter to half of that time in mediumship before I feel completely wiped out.
Yeah. But you've built it's like the it's like the gym regime. I always use Kiara, and I think Kiara's in here today, but I always use Kiara as an example because that woman can run for like forever. She's like my version of Forrest Gump. Do you know what I mean? She can just run and run and run and run. Throw Bilbo Baggins in with that as well, like all the adventures, and she just runs and runs and runs and runs. But if you try and keep up with her, you've got no chance. You've got your legs are burning a mile down the road, like my legs are killing me. And that's exactly what you've done. You've built up a tolerance, like Kiara's built up a tolerance to running. You've built up a tolerance to psychic work. You've built it up over a number of years. This reservoir of energy that you can use, and back to back to back to back readings all day long, and away you go. But you built the reservoir for it, and then the control, which is kind of much newer than that reservoir, means the tank's a little bit smaller. So you start off doing 2, and then 2 becomes 4, then 4 becomes 8, then 8 becomes 20 if need be. You've got to build up the tolerance, you've got to build up the tank for it. So it's just a conditioning. That's all it is. So
it's not that I'm necessarily doing something wrong.
No. You've got to remember the resistance that your mind will have if you've approached mediumship that is surrender, and you're coming from a foundation and a lifestyle that is of control, the other end of the scale, and you've been building that over many, many years. And then, by the way, stop that. It's do you get what I mean? There's so much resistance there that you're teaching yourself like this is okay. This is okay. It's just another way. It's a different way. So it's really normal, really, really normal for people to struggle to do something like that. I think we had Ali on earlier, and Ali was talking about man managing like a demonstration. And someone like Ali may get to like the hour mark, and it's like, my God, I've just got to do one more link and I can get through it. Whereas I can do like three hours. But I've been doing it 15 years, so. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like I've been building and building and building and building. It's just normal now. Whereas Ali in this example is just fresh out the gate. She's fresh on the stage, and it's all so much, and it's so anxious, and so you're just burning fuels in different areas, and so it'll be really difficult for you for whatever number of years that you've been in control. I'll do that. Then to have your mind go, let's try and surrender, and it want to take control. No, let's surrender. There's a resistance there, isn't there? So you're fighting yourself there
all the time,
and you do that for an hour. By the end of it, you're exhausted because you're fighting yourself. Sounds weird, right? But it's because
that makes sense though.
But you're like that all over the place. So it's like you're trying to surrender, and your brain's like, we don't want to surrender. We've learned control. No, but surrender, control. So yeah, you just have this mad internal battle. That's just gonna fatigue. You're just gonna fatigue on that, and do that for 6 months, a year, and it feels like an eternity, absolute eternity. But with hindsight, 15 years down the line, I look back and go, like after 2 years, which is nothing. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, 2 years is nothing. I can't be any more frustrated. We're only a year in, and da da da. So it's with the hindsight part. It's like only 2 years, and I had it, sorted out. But in the moment is forever. It's that resistance. It's like, so the way I think I get myself round problems like the ones that you're talking about is I kind of give myself different processes for different things. So like I love carp fishing. I love it. Love it. But I never bring my carp rods to class. So like you can love the psychic work, you can love it, but the disciplines now have to be of mediumship. So I'll leave psychic on the shelf over there. I'm going to go and do my mediumship class. So it's, and so I draw lines under things in that sense. So yeah,
Discipline.
if not, it's like I'd be fishing while doing a link, wouldn't I? So take the camera, go fishing. I love fishing, and I can do mediumship as well, and I bring them both together. It'd just be weird, wouldn't it? I'm playing a carp in the bank, and now your dad wants me to say. The client would be like, "What are you doing, weirdo?" So yeah, it's just psychic, mediumship. Opposite end of the scales, and you're building the conditioning that you've put into the psychic work. You now need to put that into the surrender work, and it's job done. So yeah, cool.
Thank you.
No worries. Let me remove your spotlight. And I'm going to round it up there. So this was experimental. I will be with you guys in a moment. Let me just do the end card for this video. I hope you can take something from it, I suppose. And we've done it in the form. I just got fed up talking to myself like this on YouTube, on my own, answering the questions that flashed up, that I just wanted to introduce them to the Zoom room and then spotlight them up. And hopefully there was varying questions for varying experiences and all that kind of stuff. So obviously like the video, subscribe if you aren't already, and share if possible. Until next time, ciao for now.